Hey, welcome back to Home Studio Pro. This time around, I'm here to introduce you to what is pretty much the gold standard of headset microphones. This is the HMD-26 by Sennheiser. And I guarantee you next time you're watching your favorite sporting event, for example, look and see what the announcers are wearing. Chances are it's this exact model of headset. Quite honestly, this is the one I've used in broadcasting. A lot of my colleagues do. It's been around for at least a decade, if I'm counting correctly. So these have been popular for a long time. I expect to see them continuously for a long time ahead. But I want to show you what they're all about in case this is something you're interested in for a home studio situation. Quite honestly, I'm more of a studio mic guy, but I understand why some people like the broadcast headset. A couple big things to know about the HMD-26s. Number one, like I said, they are a Sportscaster staple. Radio, television, doesn't really matter the medium or the platform. Take a look at what the top-level broadcasters are wearing. Regional broadcasts, local broadcasts, national broadcast. There are some telltale signs of what the HMD-26s look like on camera. I guarantee you, now you'll start paying attention, you will see these all over the place. Obviously, the headset is part of the design and the monitoring, but also the recording through the microphone. It's a hypercardioid microphone, so really tight pickup pattern. It's here to reject a lot of outside surrounding noise. And I must say, these headphones and this headset is specifically designed, quite honestly, it seems for broadcasting in loud environments and situations, just like what sports offers, right? So it's got a really tight pickup pattern. It's not here to capture all of that crowd noise or any other outside noise. You have natural sound microphones to do that on a field, on a court, on the ice, whatever it is in sports. So the other microphones capture that sound. This is only here to capture the announcer's voice. It's got a shock-mounted capsule, so you can give this a little bit of handling noise, and you can hear it does make some noise, but overall, it's meant to reject even the human noise that the announcer will make inevitably by wearing this boom microphone as part of the headset. It's also got passive noise attenuated headphones, so it's here to block out all of that loud crowd noise that you don't want to hear, right? The announcer really wants to hear themselves, a little bit of the nat sound in the headphones, their producer, right? Like on an IFB or a PL situation, you definitely want to be able to hear that. But you want to block out as much outside noise as possible. You're not going the full active noise cancellation route here. You're doing passive noise attenuation. And I must say, in using these headphones in loud environments, they are so preferable. You want to be able to hear yourself and your colleagues talk, whoever you're talking with on the broadcast. And sometimes in loud situations, it's the worst possible thing. Like, what did you say? I couldn't hear you, producer. I couldn't hear you, co-host, because the crowd just got so loud. So this is one of those situations where the microphone is tailored to a loud environment. The headphones are tailored to a loud environment. Yeah, these were made for loud environments, and they really do thrive in that situation. Overall, headsets have great benefits for a home studio situation, especially when it comes to guests. You know why? Because a lot of guests have bad microphone technique. You know, you put one of these in front of their face, and all of a sudden they're kind of rocking or swaying around it, and the sound sounds different, right? Their sound sounds different as they move around the mic, or they get off mic if they're holding a mic. Sometimes they'll hold it this way and talk that way. Look what I'm doing here. I can do a full 360 in my chair, right? And it sounds the same because this microphone, in relation to my mouth, it does not move. So obviously there have always been some benefits for headsets for guests. It's also a great way to monitor your audio, right? And I am a huge proponent of listen to what you're recording while you're recording it. That way, if there is a problem, you can instantly stop down, do it over, and get it right instead of finding out after the fact. Or if you're live streaming, I mean, there are no second chances here. If you're the only person monitoring and doing your live stream, if you are a one-person operation, you're the one that's got to double check and make sure that your sound is good going out on the live stream. So it's a good way to monitor your audio by having the headset built in, the headphones built into the headset. I will say, and we will look at the frequency response curve, this microphone, this sound, it captures the voice well. Like, it's got the good frequencies of typical speech, you know, like the 1,000 to 5,000 hertz range. I can't say that acoustically this sounds like a studio mic at all, or a lavalier mic, or other things you typically hear on television. This headset microphone definitely has its unique and intended sound, and it does help the voice cut through a mix of other sounds. And you're hearing it obviously processed here, which I'll explain in a second. But even when you hear it totally dry, it does have the right frequencies to cut through a mix of other natural sounds that would be part of a broadcast. In terms of build quality, again, this is a Sportscaster staple. It's in production trucks across the country and the world because these are durable, they're flexible. I should also show you here that you can actually take one of the ear cups and move it in front or behind your ear. Now, some broadcasters, they would rather work with only one ear with the headphones and the other ear just hearing natural sound. That's how they operate. So these headphones allow you to do that. They also have the boom arm go up if you want to move it, but both ways in case I want to wear the boom from the right side or the left side, whatever you're most comfortable with. And then last but not least, they're lightweight, so they're comfortable. They're good to wear for a long period. These will not get overly fatiguing on your head. Even 5, 6, 8 hours of broadcasting, these are really good for that. I also need to let you know that if you're going to buy the HMD-26s, there's a bunch of different variants here. Different cords, different impedances, different headphone parts, different microphone parts. Some have noise guard. That's essentially the built-in system here so that sound can't come in too loud in a sudden spike through the headphones that would maybe damage your hearing. So there are a lot of different variants. Just be very clear on what you're actually getting and to make sure it's actually what you want. Okay, now we'll talk about the audio that this headset or microphone on the headset produces. I'm getting caught up in so many words here. Here's what the frequency response looks like for the HMD-26. You can see a big boost in the low end, and yes, this is processed. I will give you unprocessed audio in just a second, but you can feel like this microphone captures a low-end resonance. Not exactly like a large diaphragm condenser, but it does have that low-end resonance. Then it kind of has that cut in the 5 to 1,000 hertz range, which is unique, but again, that's to take away maybe some unwanted frequencies, some muddiness, so that spike at 1,500, 2,000 hertz right there, it's basically the 1,000 to 5,000 is where you get the essential vocal speech frequencies in terms of this spectrum here, and that's what's elevated right there at about 2,000 hertz. Then you've got an interesting cut at about 6,000. I would imagine a lot of that is for de-essing, is for sharp, sibilant voices. I think that's probably why that's there. And then you see a little bit of a push on the top end around 7, 8, 9, 10,000 hertz. That's kind of the sparkle range. And then it cuts off dramatically somewhere around 16,000. So it doesn't have the ultimate top end register. But I want to make very clear, as you've been listening to this so far, you're hearing this sound fully processed. I'm really just running it through an SSL 4000E through my Universal Audio Apollo Twin X. Little EQing. There is an LA2A compressor on here. So what I'm about to do is take a pause. I will turn off all of the processing. I want you to hear this microphone. I want you to hear how the headset sounds fully unprocessed, raw, and dry. I will let you know that I am using an inline preamp ahead of the Apollo. It's a Triton Audio Fed head, so that gives me about 28 dB of gain going into the Apollo, and I think the Apollo is set at another 27 dB. So about 55 to 60 dB of gain is what this microphone needs to power it. It is a dynamic, so it does need that much gain. So you've heard what it sounds like fully processed. Let's do fully unprocessed. Okay, here is that dry sample, and I think there's just a little bit of a different sound to this, right? The mids are a little bit more present. The low is not as boosted. I can clearly hear that I had the lows boosted. Maybe this one doesn't have as much sparkle or clarity to it. I'm somebody who thinks that this microphone will sound just fine on a mobile phone or a tablet or somebody listening on a laptop, not like high fidelity speakers, but if you're listening to this on studio monitors or really quality headphones, or you're an audiophile, I think you will hear that this sound is a bit mid-rangey, muffly. It doesn't have the V-shaped, fun sound of a studio condenser microphone. And granted, it's not designed to be like that, but I want you to capture and understand what this sounds like in this fully dry sample. Hopefully you've had enough back and forth. You can rewind and listen to this part over and over again. You know what the voice sounded like processed. Here it is, fully unprocessed. Not a bad sound, and a sound that's used every day, but certainly from the home studio, this doesn't sound like a condenser microphone. It doesn't have that same authoritative sound. But at the same respect, if you're broadcasting from a room that's not acoustically treated, I mean, this one is. There's no echoes, there's no reverberations here, but if you were in a spot that was less than optimal acoustically, maybe a headset like this works out for you because it does such a good job at rejecting out all that other noise. Okay, I'm gonna go back to fully processed and close out this video. And we're back. Okay, the HMD-26. I hope you've enjoyed this review. Most importantly, I mean, I wanted to show you what this looked like. I wanted to tell you about its background, how it's universally preferred in terms of sports broadcasting. It's popular for so many reasons in a professional environment and industry, but it could work for you in a home studio situation. It does not come cheap, but it is of professional quality, and it is one of those investment type things. And you think about it, I mean, what were you going to pay for a microphone and a set of good headphones? I do have to say that these headphones, they cancel out the noise. I mean, passively, not actively. They do a good job of rejecting outside noise, but they are good quality Sennheiser headphones too. So what were you going to pay for headphones and a good microphone? Because if it was going to total up to $500 anyway, well, here you go with the Sennheiser HMD-26s, all-in-one, cords, cabling, quite easy. It literally is all in one piece. So I've used these a bunch over the years. I like these. I'm recommending them to you. Maybe they fit your home studio situation. The HMD-26s by Sennheiser. Hey, thanks for checking out this video. If it provided you value, thumbs up would help me out so greatly here on YouTube. I appreciate that. Also, subscribe to the channel. I've got lots more great stuff coming out in the very near future.